And welcome to the shed with me, Trev. It's a Thursday evening here in Ireland. I just said I do. It's my third video this week. It's not often now, but the season's kicking off to do so many videos. But we're getting busy. We have special guests coming on, which is brilliant, and also the season's kicking off, and I don't want to miss an opportunity to talk NFL. So you're very welcome along to the show. So tonight's show, what I'm going to do, it won't be too long, but I'm going to rate the quarterbacks in tiers for the 2025 season. The reason I'm doing this is it'll give an idea how I think teams will do in this coming season, but also what tier I have them in doesn't actually mean that they're rubbish or anything like that. And I will explain as I go along that if I think a guy could improve or kick on, or if I think a guy may be in decline and might maybe move back down. But I'm a huge fan of the NFL, no more than I am of the Buffalo Bills. So it's my honest opinion of where I think the quarterbacks are. I have seen other news outlets and podcasts and do this. So I said I'd have a go at my own and see what you think. So um, enjoy it. And if you have any comments, please leave them and let me know what you think. And I'll start and we'll see how it goes. So I have divided my tiers into 6 tiers. So tier 6 is the bottom and tier 1 is the top. I haven't ranked them between 1 and 32 because it's just too messy. When they're in their tiers, it'll explain a bit more. So tier 6 for me are the guys that are at the bottom, will have to prove themselves. And if they don't prove themselves, either their head coaches will get sacked or they'll be gone, one of the two. And the first team I have in is the New Orleans Saints. Now, as of now, I don't know which of Tyler Shaw or Spencer Rattler is going to start for the New Orleans Saints at quarterback, or even if they're going to go and move for somebody else. But as of now, I have the two of them in at tier 6 because either or is going to be a tier 6. They don't right now suggest to me that they're going to move on and dominate in their division, bring their team to a playoff, or get them to a Super Bowl. Not in this season. Maybe down the road, but right now, no. So for that, the New Orleans Saints, Tyler Shaw and Spencer Rattler, they're tier 6. Also, the number 1 pick of the 2025 draft, Cam Ward, Tennessee Titans, he's tier 6. This is a guy that can and probably will move up, but I've seen nothing. So he hasn't played in the NFL, so you can't just go and say, well, why didn't you put him in at 4 or 3? He may be very good. Hopefully, he will be very good for the Tennessee Titans, but right now, we haven't seen anything, so he's number 6. Another guy that's at number 6 is JJ McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings. I do expect the Minnesota Vikings to have a brilliant season, but again, JJ McCarthy missed last season with an injury, and he's only coming back, so really it's only his rookie year. Now, the next guy is going to be kind of controversial because they went and hammered us at the weekends, but I have Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams, for me, has the potential to move up and be a good quarterback. I'm not sure if he would be a great quarterback from the Chicago Bears, but this season he's going to have to prove it. Ben Johnson's come in as the new head coach. Ben Johnson was a genius as an offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And Ben Johnson has improved the offensive line for him and is going to give them a chance to give Caleb Williams every chance to become the best he can be. So this season is huge for Caleb Williams. So he's going to have to go and prove himself. But right now, for me, he's tier 6. And the last guy I have in tier 6 is I have Bryce Young. Bryce Young from the Carolina Panthers. I have him in tier 6 because he was the number 1 pick. Is it 3 years ago now? The time is flying. But he only started to show the Bryce Young from college at the back end of last year when he was dropped. Andy Dalton came in, but Andy Dalton got injured, and then he came back and he was a different animal, different Bryce Young. I hope for Bryce Young's sake he moves up that table and brings the Carolina Panthers on because they're a franchise that need something to grasp at. But right now, in my eyes, he's tier 6. So I'll just go through tier 6 again. Tyler Shaw or Spencer Rattler of the New Orleans Saints, Cam Ward of the Tennessee Titans, Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers, JJ McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings, and Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears. Tier 6. Tier 5. Tier 5 are guys that um, can go down. It's a big season for them. They're going to have to push on. They're going to have to prove themselves, because if they go down, I think they're going out. The first guy I have in is Joe Flacco of the Cleveland Browns. Joe has won a Super Bowl, but that's many, many moons ago. He's coming to the end of his career. He has been named starter for the Cleveland Browns for week 1. He is under pressure because he's got Kenny Pickett there. He's got Shedeur Saunders and Dylan Gabriel, 2 rookies they brought in this year to put pressure on. And from what I was reading, they're going to go with 4 quarterbacks in their 53-man roster by the looks of things for the season. Now, time will tell. But the Cleveland Browns, they give Myles Garrett this huge contract, telling them they're going to do everything to win him a Super Bowl. If he stay, he signed, he's going to stay. I don't know about this season. I think they're way off, especially if Joe Flacco is starting. But Joe Flacco has shown glimpses of brilliance over the last 2 years. He was at the Browns 2 years ago, got them to the playoffs, but he showed also glimpses of his age and him being out of touch and slowing down, which is natural when he gets older, when he was at the Indianapolis Colts last year. So for me, Joe Flacco is in tier 5. Also in tier 5, I have Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, the Indianapolis Colts, he's been announced that he's starting in game week 1 ahead of Anthony Richardson. Whether Anthony Richardson is fit or not, or suffering from an injury, I don't know. But Daniel Jones is starting. Daniel Jones was the number 1 guy at the New York Giants. He went over to the Vikings last year as backup to Sam Darnold, and he's got his chance now, second chance at the Indianapolis Colts. Like Joe Flacco, it's huge for him, because if this doesn't go well, I don't see him ever being a starter at another franchise. So it's a big year for the Colts. So best of luck to Daniel, but it's make or break for him, and we'll see how it happens. Next guy in tier 5, I have Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this guy came with a huge boost of compliments when he came out of college, and he was the next big thing, and for whatever reason, he hasn't delivered. In my eyes, if he doesn't deliver this season, he's gone. Liam Cohen is the new head coach there. Apparently, they're doing great things, but it's training camp and it's not the real deal yet. But for me, Trevor Lawrence has to produce something this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've given him a huge contract. He hasn't delivered. He was injured last year for part of the year, but even before that, he was awful. So we will see what happens. Then I have Michael Penix Jr. from the Atlanta Falcons. The reason I have Michael Penix here is he did finish the season well for them last year, but it's a huge season. And again, he's got Kirk Cousins there in the background waiting to get in. Now, Kirk has had plenty of chances, but if Michael doesn't take his, Kirk is there. And I think it's the same for Bryce Young with Anthony Dalton. Like, if Bryce doesn't take his chance and doesn't give us the Bryce of the end of last season, then Andy Dalton is there to fill in as well. But I have Michael Penix there. I do expect Michael Penix to move up the table if I was doing it again in 6 months, to be at least a 4, if not a 3. But right now I have him in tier 5. Again, like 6, he has to prove himself. I also have Justin Fields from the New York Jets in tier 5. The reason I've Justin Fields in there is I know there's a guy in there that can go higher, but he hasn't really consistently shown that yet. And this is a huge year for him, no more than the other guys in this tier. If it goes well, he'll move up. If it goes bad, I don't know whether he get to be starting quarterback again at any other franchise. So for that alone, I have Justin Fields in tier 5, and we will see how things go on. Aaron Glenn is his new head coach. They will run the ball more. He is an excellent guy that can run the ball. It's when he goes passing is where the questions do come in, but we'll see how it goes. But it's a huge season for him. And the last guy I have in tier 5 is Russell Wilson from the New York Giants. To my knowledge, Russell Wilson has been named starter for the season at the New York Giants. Now, if anything goes wrong, he's gone. Jackson Dart, if he was the guy that was going to start, I would have him in tier 6 because he has to show us what he's made of yet. Russell Wilson does have a Super Bowl ring, but his last few seasons has been awful. So he's in it like the rest of these guys. If it goes well, they can move up. And if it goes bad, then adios amigos. So now we come to tier 4. And in tier 4, I have Aaron Rodgers of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And lots of people know my love for Aaron Rodgers here in the show. Not the footballer, the guy outside of football I don't like. But he did show glimpses at the end of last season with the Jets that he can throw the ball. If he has a good offense in front of him, he will create exciting things for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He doesn't have the movement that he had when he was younger, and it'll all come down to his arm at the end of the day. I do believe he's ahead of all the guys I've named so far, and that's why I have him in tier 4. The next guy in tier 4 is Drake May of the New England Patriots. This is a guy I expect to move up over the next few years and become one of the bigger quarterbacks in the league. He has a very good head coach in Mike Vrabel to guide him. This is his second season. Now, it'll be interesting. Some of these guys I'm going to name are going into second seasons. And will they hit the second season slump like CJ Stroud did last year, or will they just battle through? It'll be interesting to see. But I do believe Drake May has proven himself last year that he's way up above tier 6 and tier 5. So I have him in tier 4. The sky is the limit for him if he wants it, but time will tell. But it's a big second season for him. Another guy in tier 4 is Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals. I have Kyler in there because when Kyler Murray flashes, he is awesome. But when he doesn't, he is also awful. But he is ahead of tier 5 and tier 6. He is the guy that if it goes well for him and the Arizona Cardinals this year, there is playoff chances there for them. But I don't trust Kyler Murray. And in these middle tiers, they can be very good guys, but they're guys you also say, well, can let you down as well. Now, the next guy is going to be kind of controversial. Um, I have Justin Herbert of the Los Angeles Chargers. I have him a tier ahead of Trevor Lawrence because he has done a bit more in the last 2 seasons for the Los Angeles Chargers than Lawrence has done for the Jaguars. But these are two guys that came out of college with big hoo-ahs. You also have the media in America pumping them up. Now it's going to go to Justin Herbert. He can do no wrong. Jim Harbaugh loves him. Um, but for me, he is a middle of the road quarterback right now. He can go down and he can go up. It's a huge season for the Chargers. They go to take on the Chiefs and the Broncos in the AFC West. So he's going to have to prove to me and to the NFL that this is a guy that can, when the pressure comes on, can take it. Next up on the list is Geno Smith of the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Geno did prove himself the last few years at the Seattle Seahawks. He's over now with Pete Carroll again at the Las Vegas Raiders. And I expect Geno to be steady like he always has. He does exciting things, but he does a lot of things right. Unlike some of the other guys, Geno will give you, you know, uh, a straightforward set of stuff. He won't be too flash, but he will get the job done. And he'll do a good job for the Raiders. I don't see him dropping down, but I don't see him going up. I think he's just a steady tier 4 guy. Next, it must be the AFC West I'm doing here. Next on the list is Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. Bo had a brilliant season last year, brilliant rookie season. It was really exciting. Got the Broncos to the playoffs. The Broncos are tipped by an awful lot of people to win the AFC West this year. And Sean Payton and Bo Nix, it will come down to them on the offensive side, what they get going. The only fear I have for Bo Nix is year 2. Can he just continue on his rookie year and improve, or will he, level off a bit? Time will tell. But like, there's great expectations in Denver. They're excited about him, and he is a guy that again can move up tiers, go to tier 2, tier 1 in years to come if he wishes. But it'll be up to him to prove it. And the last guy I have in tier 4 is Sam Darnold of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, not Minnesota, Seattle Seahawks, excuse me. Minnesota Vikings last year. Sam Darnold had an absolutely breakout year last year under Kevin O'Connell at the Minnesota Vikings. When J.J. McCarthy got injured, people thought the Vikings were finished. Sam Darnold came in, and to everybody's surprise, including my own, he had an absolutely amazing season. Is there a tier 3 in Sam Darnold? I don't know. But there is a steady tier 4. If he produces what he did last year for the Minnesota Vikings with the Seattle Seahawks, then by all means, tier 3 and tier 2 could be there knocking next year or the year after. But right now, Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks is in tier 4. Now we move up to tier 3. We're getting to the business end of the quarterbacks. So I'm going to start off with Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. Sorry. Tua Tagovailoa, for me, is the linchpin in that Miami offense. Now, I hope, firstly, that Tua stays injury-free. But when Tua plays, whatever offense the Miami Dolphins have, he is the guy behind it. When Tua doesn't play, when he was out with injuries, no matter what quarterback they bring in and put in, it's no good. And they have Waddle and Hill, two of the best wide receivers in the league. They had a running back room last year that was second to none. And yet, when Tua was missing, the Dolphins were nothing. So I believe in Tua. I think he's a brilliant quarterback. I think he's proven himself at Miami. I don't think he's the right head coach with him, but time will tell. And it's a huge season for the Dolphins. Can Tua go down a level or two? Yes, but can Tua go up a level or two? He can definitely go up one level if he puts in a good season for the Dolphins this year, and the Dolphins do something good in the NFL. My next tier 3 guy is Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. Jared has been very steady and very good over the last number of years since he went to Detroit. Dan Campbell has got the best out of him. So did Ben Johnson when he was there, the offensive coordinator. So it's a huge season for Jared. The Detroit Lions last year were many Super Bowl favourites during the year, and they got surprisingly beat by the Washington Commanders when Jaden Daniels came in there and went wild with the Washington Commanders. But Jared Goff is a steady, good quarterback, has good numbers to prove it, and will do a good job and will have the Lions thereabouts come the end of this coming season. So he's a steady number 3. My next guy, number 3, is a guy that has the potential to go to 2 or 1, but also has the potential after last season to drop down to 4 and 5. And that's CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans. CJ had an amazing rookie year. Left Bryce Young for miles behind him. Bryce was number 1 pick, CJ Stroud was number 2, and the Houston Texans got every bit of value out of him. But last year, he leveled off. Now, he did lose some weapons, and Nico Collins was a huge loss for him in the game against the Chiefs for the rest of the season. But this is a huge season for the Texans and for CJ Stroud. CJ has the potential to be a number 2, maybe a number 1, but definitely number 2. But if this goes wrong for CJ this season and he doesn't deliver like he did in his rookie year, then there's a drop, and there'll also be the Houston Texans will suffer. My next guy now is being fit dependent, is what I would put it, is Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford has had a brilliant career, but he's been out most of the start of the season with a back injury. He's now just back. So, but like he hasn't had a lot of time with the team, as in doing reps and stuff like that in training camp. So it'll be interesting to see how fit he is, firstly at the start of the season, and will his injury leave him alone or will it cause him issues? If he is fit, Matt Stafford was a throw away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the snow last year, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. The Rams are tipped with Matthew Stafford to be one of the contenders for the Super Bowl this year, and he is a tier 3 guy. His best years are behind him because he is an older guy as well. Not to say he can't do it, but um, The running game won't be there as much, getting out of trouble, so it's going to be nearly all arm when he goes throwing. But he is a very good tier 3, steady tier 3. Hopefully he stays fit and gives the Rams the best chance they can. Now, my next guy is in the NFC West as well, Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. Brock got paid this year, rightly so in my eyes. He has already brought them to the NFC Championship when he got injured, and then he brought them to the Super Bowl the following year, where just if the bounce of the ball was the difference between them and the Chiefs in overtime. I think they could have done more in defense that day to stop the Chiefs, and maybe they would be Super Bowl champions, but they'll have to work on that. But for me, Brock Purdy is solid. He gets the job done. He has less weapons this year than he had in previous years, so it'll be interesting to see. Can he go up? I think 3 will be pushing it, but can he go down? Yes. So I hope for Brock's sake, he has a good year for the 49ers and at least holds the tier 3. My next guy in the tier 3 is Jordan Love. Jordan Love from the Green Bay Packers. Again, he has proven that he's a very good quarterback, but he has a lot of question marks at the same time. And for lots of teams, this is a huge season. But for the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, it is. They got him a wide receiver, number 1 pick, their number 1 pick in the draft. They have a load of number 1 or wide receivers, young wide receivers there for him. Christian Watson is one. Josh Jacobs, they have the running back. So they have everything there to give Jordan Love what he needs. Like Brock Purdy, like Matthew Stafford, CJ Stroud, huge season, needs to show he can deliver, or else it'll be down the table he goes. My next guy is Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think it's amazing Baker Mayfield is this high up, from considering how the Cleveland Browns treated him and how he had to prove himself with the Los Angeles Rams and then fight for the Tampa Bay job with Kyle Trask and then get it. And when he got it, he's grabbed it with both hands. And this year, as a dark horse, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the dark horses for the Super Bowl. And that's down to lots of things. Todd Bowles, but Mike Evans, but it's also down to Baker Mayfield. And I think Baker Mayfield is awesome to be there. I don't know if there's a tier 2 in him, but I know that definitely he's a tier 3. And if he has a very good season and gets Tampa Bay to the divisional round or to the NFC Championship or even a Super Bowl, well, then the sky is the limit for Baker. The last guy I have in tier 3 is Dak Prescott. And you're going, wow. And I'm going, yeah. But Dak Prescott, when he is fit, and he's now back to being fit, in the last 2 or 3 seasons has had brilliant regular seasons. The playoffs, not so good, but he has delivered. He was runner-up there for MVP a few years ago, and he has delivered during the regular season. Unlike a lot of people that do podcasts and things about the NFL and reports and all this and reporters, I count the regular season as much as I count the off season and the postseason. Sorry, excuse me, because you won't get to the postseason if you don't have a good regular season. End of story. So you can be 9-8 and win the Super Bowl, and you can be 17-0 and win the Super Bowl. But for you to get into the playoffs to win the Super Bowl, you have to have a good regular season and you have to play well. And Dak Prescott has proven that, and I think he's a tier 3. There is a tier 2 in him if he can win some playoff games for the Cowboys. I don't know will that be this year, but if he can have a steady season, he should be tier 3 again next year. Now we go to tier 2, and I only got 2 guys in tier 2. Number 1, and it's not they're not in numbers in the tiers, but it's the first guy on my list, is Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels proved himself last year. He brought a franchise that was tipped to be 3rd or 4th in the NFC East, and he pushed the Eagles all the way, albeit they got kind of well bet in the AFC or NFC Championship game. But for a rookie quarterback, he was amazing. This year now, he will be a similar pressure on him as as there will be on Caleb Williams, as there will be on Cam Moore, or JJ McCarthy, second year syndrome. Will they, Bo Nix, will he level off or will he push on? And I hope for Jane Daniels that he pushes on, but um, time will tell. And like the Commanders' issue at the minute is sorting out Terry McLaurin. And if they can sort out Terry McLaurin's contract, I think they'll have a brilliant year. They've got Deebo Samuel. They have all the weapons they have from last year. They have improved, and they should put up a bigger challenge to the Eagles. If Terry McLaurin doesn't sign for them or doesn't play for them or trade somewhere else, depending on who they get, will depend on how what other weapons Jaden Daniels has, to use. And Terry McLaurin for me is ahead of Deebo Samuel. So that's why I have, I would really want him, if I was a Washington Commanders fan, to stay there. My second guy is the Super Bowl quarterback champion, at the current Super Bowl champion, is Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts has proved a lot of people wrong. He won a Super Bowl last year, but he has to go and prove himself again for me to get up to tier 1, because he had Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley helped him out so much. Now, all quarterbacks have good weapons. A.J. Brown, he has as well, and many more. But Saquon Barkley took an awful lot of pressure off Jalen Hurts. I want to see a bit more Jalen Hurts this year, and if he can produce a similar season to last year, even if they get to an NFC Championship game, even if they get to the Super Bowl and don't win it, but he gets them there, and he is the linchpin of that team, then I can believe he can move up to a tier 1 next year. But right now, even though he is the defending Super Bowl quarterback champion, he's number 2 for me. And now we move to tier 1. And in tier 1, these 4 guys I'm going to name, there is nothing between them. So I'm going to put them all in together. There's Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. There's Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. There's Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. And there's Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. And since I started doing this, these 4 guys have been my top 4 guys. The only team that I feel sorry for in them 4 guys is the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's because they don't have a defense. But all offenses, they are world class. And any of these 4 teams can win the Super Bowl. Now, it turns out all 4 teams are in the AFC, so they won't play each other in the Super Bowl. But, it's good for the division. But Josh Allen is the current MVP. Lamar Jackson is the MVP for 2 years ago. Patrick Mahomes has won MVP. Joe Burrow, if he had got to the playoffs, might have pushed Josh Allen for MVP last year. But he had an awesome season. I can't put anything between them. On their day, each can beat each other, and they've proven it. Again, as I say, I count all games, because you won't get to the playoffs without having good regular season. Burrow has beaten Mahomes in the AFC Championship. Lamar has beaten Josh in the regular season. Josh has beaten Lamar in the playoffs. Mahomes has beaten Josh in the playoffs. Josh has beaten Mahomes in the regular season, and Burrow has beaten Josh in the playoffs. And the Bengals and the Lions and the Ravens, they play each other twice a year. And last year's 2 games were 2 absolute crackers. So they're my 4 guys in tier 1. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. And Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. I can't split them. I'm not going to try and split them. I think they're way ahead of all the other quarterbacks. If I was to pick 1 or 2 guys that could go up to tier 1, Jaden Daniels, he has a chance, but he's going to have to prove it for another year or 2 to say, I can show you this. Jalen Hurts, he has to say, I'm not just a Saquon man. I have to show the world I am the man here. After that, there's a few young guys here that, like Cam Ward, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, Drake May, Bo Nix, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, Tua if he wants it. All these guys can be number one, but they have to go out and prove it. What the top four guys have, they have proven it year after year after year. And when these four teams play and these four offenses quarterbacks are playing on the field, magic happens. And that's why I love NFL, is because the likes of these guys, because of the magic. So that is my thoughts on the quarterback tier rating. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments, I'd be delighted to hear them. It's everyone has their own opinion. It's only my opinion, but it's a bit of fun, something to chat about. Hello, Weston, my friend. You're very welcome to the show. Weston was there on Monday night all night and helping out with the comments and giving us good remarks and the whole lot when I was with Mike and Jake from the Nickel City Mafia. So welcome along, Weston. Delighted to have you on board. So that is it. The last thing I'm going to talk about was a bit of bad news today for the Bills. Hopefully it's not too serious. Tre'Davious White, he hobbled to the dressing room apparently, but they had to put him on a cart and bring him. So hopefully it's nothing too serious, because poor Tre'Davious White, as a Buffalo Bill, the last 3 seasons he's played with Buffalo has had serious injury after serious injury, and I hope it's not a serious injury. I've watched Hard Knocks. It's not too exciting, to be honest, but I've watched it, and he is a guy that you would get behind. He is a brilliant character, and I just wish him all the best, because he was flying. And going off reports, he was flying. So hopefully it's not too serious. Even if it was worst case scenario, he had to miss a couple of weeks. Like it might help him in the long run, but I just hope it's not serious, because it would break my heart to see that man suffer a third serious injury. From what I read, it was 11-on-11 and he went down, and it was a leg injury, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. So Tre'Davious, please get well soon. Weston, am I going to the Kansas State game in Dublin? I'm not, no. I went to the college game in 22 when Northwestern played Nebraska. It was an amazing day, but it's different to an NFL game. And I enjoyed the razzmatazz and the whole lot, but I follow college football just as a pastime. I'll watch a game here or there. It should be an amazing game by all means. It's one of the top games that Ireland has ever got. It's one of the 2 of the bigger schools coming, or colleges. But for me now, I have done the college game, and I've done the moment and enjoyed it, and it's good for Dublin, but it's very expensive to go up there, and it gets more expensive every year. Like this year now, I was hoping to get 2 tickets to go to the Steelers game, bring my girl into the Steelers game, show her the whole shebang, and see what the NFL is like. I know it's not the Bills, but Steelers and Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings coming with JJ McCarthy. It should be a great day out and to show her what the NFL is like. But I couldn't get tickets, and not that I've any grievance with anyone who got tickets. I've had my rant about Ticketmaster and how it was ran, and I just past it now. I'm not going to it. I'm going to watch it on TV, and it'll do me. That it'll be a huge occasion in Dublin for that game too. It's in Croke Park, so it'll be near 80,000 people at it, where the college game is in the Aviva, and I think it's the max they can have is a 45,000. It is a 50,000 seater stadium, but just for some reason they don't allow it to be filled. But look at anyone that's going to either game, the college game this weekend and the NFL game at the end of September. I hope they have an amazing time. I hope the weather is fine. I hope everyone sees Ireland as a potential multi-game place for the NFL in the future, or they come every year with two teams. But I'm just not in any bad way towards the NFL, but the way Ticketmaster handled the ticket situation, queued for 6 hours, and when I got my chance to go in, they kicked me out, and then you had to go and re-queue again. And I wasn't the only one. There was thousands of people. There was people who were in and they were paying for tickets and they got put out. So it's just a wrong system. And then them tickets are up on sale for 3-4 times the price a few hours later, and the genuine fans can't get it. It is what it is. I'm over it. I'm going to watch it on TV. And if it was the Bills, I'd be gutted and I'd keep looking. But hotel prices are too expensive. They're a hotel. Myself and my daughter went up to a concert in July, and we spent €225 for a room for the two of us for the night. Lovely room, lovely hotel. I'm not mentioning the name for the next part. The same hotel for the NFL weekend for one person was €525. Now, two people stayed in a room for 225. One room, not taking up any more space, and for a single room, it's 525 for the NFL. Ain't paying that. So I'm going to watch it on TV. I'm happy. I've made my peace with it now, and that's how it is. But for everyone going, I hope they have a brilliant time, and I hope it's an amazing occasion, and I hope the NFL sees Ireland, and like the college does, in the top mark of light, that we see have good weather. It's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant atmosphere, and I know a lot of guys have worked behind the scenes, and I know these guys. They have been brilliant and organising it, and they deserve their credits too, and they deserve a brilliant day. Especially Michael McQuaid, Mark Hogan from Pro Football Ireland, Jimmy English from Gaelic Gridiron, and there's many, many more. But these guys have pushed their backside to get the NFL to Ireland, and I hope they get the rewards for it. And that is it. So, folks, thank you very much for watching. And this show has ran a lot longer than what I thought it would, but I enjoyed about NFL. I like talking about the Bills. I like talking about the NFL as well. So, Weston, my friend, thank you very much for your comments. Anyone else have comments, please leave them. What you thought, whether you thought I was talking nonsense or talking good stuff, whatever. I appreciate all feedback. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and happy weekend. As always, stay safe, stay happy. Go Bills.